to operation outside the state border, as far as in Texas or other places like that?
Yeah, look, I think that what's happening in Texas is not just a Texas issue. It's an American issue. And you have a situation... You have a situation, we've had over 8 million people pour into this country illegally just in the last 3 years. And I've been down there. We've had people down there for years now, on and off, helping out. You've got people from China. You've got people from Iran, other parts of the Middle East, North Africa, Russia. This is not just people coming from Mexico. In fact, I bet you most people are not from Mexico, or even maybe Central America would be the bulk of it. But a lot of people, anyone that wants to do us harm, will look at that border as the easiest soft underbelly this country has right now. So I think that if the federal government is saying that it is not only not going to enforce the law, but it's going to somehow prohibit a state from faithfully enforcing the law, that is not the way this Constitution was designed. And I think that the states being able to step up, ensure the sovereignty of their territory and the sovereignty of our country is something that's appropriate. It's something that the founders envisioned if you had a derelict executive in the federal government. And I think states should be able to work together. So, yes, I mean, we have EMAC requests that come in all the time from other states. And we've sent people to help California respond to wildfires and things. We've sent people to help Texas in the past, not just for immigration, but for natural disaster, and many other states. And many states have sent to Florida. Hurricane Ian, we had a lot of support that came from other states. So that's just something that we do. And if Texas, they have requested, we've got FHP, Fish and Wildlife, we've had Guard, we may do more National Guard, but we also would be willing to do the Florida State Guard. And the reason why you would want to do the State Guard is because the president would not be able to federalize the State Guard. That's the reason why we did the State Guard, grew out of the vaccine mandates that they were imposing on the military for COVID. We looked at it and said, well, wait a minute. These are young people. Most of them are in good shape anyways. A lot of them had COVID. And then especially when people were still getting infected, even if they took the jab, it's like, okay, well, why would you mandate this? So we were opposed to that. We said in the Florida National Guard, there will be no vax mandates for COVID in the National Guard, which is great, and it's good to say that. And it's great to say that, but the reality is National Guard units are administratively controlled from Washington. So our view was, okay, we'll fight them on this, but ultimately, Washington probably does have the authority to trump us on National Guard because they have administrative control. So then we did the Florida State Guard so that people would be able to go to the State Guard and not have to be subjected to this. Turns out they ended up backing down, and they never enforced the COVID vax mandate against the state of Florida, and we stood up and protected our people. We were happy to that. So we did the State Guard partially for that, but then partially it's just you control your own destiny with the State Guard. I mean, the federal government will grab our National Guardsmen and they'll send them all over the world in some of these missions. And some of these missions, you know, Biden isn't even standing up forthrightly to defend our troops. He's got them in Syria and Iraq and all these places, and they're just taking pot shots from there, and he's not really doing much to respond. So why should we just have people just get plucked out of here to be doing whatever these guys in Washington want? If these are people serving the state, you know, we want to be able to have control over that. So I think it's good policy to be able to allow us to fulfill requests from other states with either the National Guard or the State Guard. And the issue with the Texas border, though, if we have Florida State Guard and other states have their own state guards, then that's not something that Biden could just simply federalize. And I don't know if it's going to come to this, but just think about what does that say to the American people if you are federalizing the Texas National Guard in order to take barricades down from the border to let more people come in illegally. And the thing is it's just like, this is a lot of people. We wouldn't be able to absorb 8 million even if it was legal, because it's just the housing, the medical, the education, all this. I mean, there are places where the schools have been overwhelmed. So it's just not a way you can conduct business as a country. But if he's doing that, I mean, man, what a statement that would be, that you're going against a state who's just simply trying to uphold the law. And I would note that we've banned sanctuary cities in Florida, for example, but there are sanctuary cities in a lot of other places around this country, and sanctuary states. I mean, we did a couple months ago. I did a debate with the governor of California, with Hannity, and I researched some of the stuff that goes on in California. It's a sanctuary state; they're proud of that, and then they have sanctuary cities and counties. And so, you had a situation in L.A. where you had somebody that had been deported 3 times.